Good morning, everybody. So let me just do a couple things here, get this set up. Running a little bit late today. I apologize. A lot going on in the market. A lot of little positions. I'm just trying to figure out how to position some of these things this morning. A lot going on. So let's just drop this in here. Okay. Well, give me 1 second. Okay, so let me just drop this in one more spot, and then we're going to begin. Good morning, everybody. So the biggest news that I have to go over, I'll just address, and then we can kind of go from there. All right. So this is the one thing that I'm real hyper focused on today, just to kind of point that out there, and then we take some questions. There's two that I'm really hyper focused on today. So this breakout, I'll show these levels. Okay. This is what you're doing already. This is just starting, right? Like I know everyone's excited because of this move. Okay, that move was, just walk through it, right? Just think about it for a minute. Okay, today is what, right? Tuesday, right? Friday, Thursday. Okay, this is not that long of a time. And when you have these 3-day patterns like this is showing you right here, these can get extremely powerful. My next line for this is around the 346. And I think it could hit it in a very short period of time. So all this stuff, and anyone that's telling you to avoid this because the RSI is at 92, 93 has no idea what they're talking about. They don't understand how to use RSI. You could say overbought forever. If you said overbought here, okay, you're up $75 or 30%. This is where we added, right, on a 70 RSI. I don't care what the number is. It's understanding how to read that correctly. That's going to make the difference for you. That's how you get outsized returns. It's just a fact. You get outsized returns at extreme levels. You just have to learn how to read them. So I really like this. This was an excellent report. If this gets crushed for some reason today, it was also in the top 5. I'll be looking at it. There was not one problem or one mistake with this report. So I would really focus on that. Third, I think Moderna is simply trading up because BNTX is coming out with earnings. But just look at this for a moment and think about this. Like I get why this is trading up, right? Earnings, I get it. But I don't get, and maybe this is going to go up because of it, but when you're having your drug pulled in France and Sweden, okay, that's not something that should make you feel warm and fuzzy. And as everyone knows, I have a short position in this and some puts. Maybe it works this week, maybe it doesn't. But I would strongly suggest that you avoid this company. If you want to play the game, play BNTX right now. So that's it. That's what I have to go over, and I'll take questions. MUQS. So let's start. Okay, let's get into questions. Good morning, Jeremy. So MU. MU by definition will probably go up because the index is going up. The issue becomes DRAM pricing. Is DRAM pricing getting better? Well, it could be, right? Now, you crossed over the 50, and these trades have been working. But you're still below the 200. So for me, this trade, yes. Could this go? Sure. You could trade up to this level, to 80. Until you're through 80, until you're through that 200-day, I would not be building a long-term position in it. Could there be a trade? Sure. But I'll just be candid with you. We did better by understanding what's really going on in semiconductors. Jeremy, we did better buying this at 50, okay, at 65 with less risk than someone buying this. So it's a question of where do you want to put your dollars, right? So QS, I like this chart. I like how you had earnings and it took a week to digest, and now you're breaking out. Now, here's your breakout from the other day. You're above the 200. You've never been above the 200 since it began. Again, I don't know what space it's in, Jeremy. If you could tell me that, that'd be helpful. But this is exactly what you want to see. You're above that 32 level. You couldn't clear it here. Look at this. Look, you couldn't clear that 32 level right on the 50-day. And guess what you do yesterday? You break out and go. This is very interesting to me, and definitely one that I would recommend that people take a look at and watch. I like it a lot. I would watch this. Maybe if you take out this higher high, get involved. If not, hopefully you just build a flag here before you press higher. But I like that a lot, Jeremy. I think that could work. Just grabbing a little more coffee. Let's go here. So let's just keep going. Okay. Morning, Jacob. Good morning, Eric. URA and CAT. I saw the news where they're combining a company. Right? I saw that. They're combining this company. Look, that's a breakout. I mean, no matter how you look at it, and I talk about these three-day patterns all the time. When you break out like this, it's setting up for a major move. And this is setting up for a major move. It just becomes a question of whether or not you're going to stay in there for it. And here it comes, right? So there it is. Now the question is, where could you have some resistance? Well, okay, there's your trend line, right? There's where you're at. So be a little careful. Hey, just be a little careful of that area, okay? Because you could just run into a brick wall there. All right. So just consider that. CAT I like a lot, and I think that the infrastructure bill is being grossly underestimated on what they're going to do. You need to flip that level. Also, these strikes that are going on are no joke. Okay, but they're really no joke. Like it could affect Caterpillar. So maybe it'll have trouble with this level because of that. We're just not sure yet. Okay. Yeah, Brandon, I think we're going to have a really good day today. So I think we're going to have a really good day. It's why, we have calls and stock and all kinds of stuff on semiconductors. I mean, it's all over the place. So, and I just did Playboy. Let's do Playboy, Eric. So I like the name. We put it in the top 10 a week ago. And, if you don't watch those top 10 videos, I would, because we've been crushing it lately. Look, this is doing everything you want it to do. It's build, and now it's just kind of grinding higher. This NFT space is not going away. And I don't know if people are expecting an announcement in the earnings, but it's definitely something that would be on my radar, hands down. So let's just see. What else do we have here? I like that a lot. Good morning, my friend. Good morning. Which other ones are coming out? TNA. So TNA is something that we kind of picked on from the room, and just leave it alone. I can't stress this enough. Like, look, if you were fortunate enough to catch this, and I was talking about the indexes today, let's get rid of all annotations for a second. Okay. We're aware that we're above all these moving averages, right? So we really don't need them, right? It's kind of pointless to even talk about. We know they're there. Here's your break. Okay. If you use this, depending upon what you want to use for your base, okay, your base is here on the bottom and here. So I've been basing since January. I have a year base on an index. It tells you everything you want to know, right? There's a trend and a channel right here that gives us massive potential, massive. And I don't see any reason that that's going to change at all. As things open up, these are the names that are going to do better. Your cruise lines, jets, places that you're going to go to. So that's how I view it. Okay. And that's how it needs to be viewed. So just keep that in mind. SPXL. You're running out of room there. Let me just show you this. So you're kind of running out of room. Let me just show you this chart, because this is kind of important so you understand it. Okay. You're running into a problem, and indexes respect trend lines more than stocks do for several reasons I won't bore you with, but they do. Indexes respect trend lines more. So you're running into an issue. S&P is running into an issue. It's the first one out of all three indexes that's running into an issue. Just FYI. EXPE, I like a lot. I put it in the top 5 yesterday. I think you got to be all over it. I think you have to be all over this. Pulls back, take a look, breaks through this level again, right? I put the level there in the top 5 at 5 from last night. Breaks out, it could keep going. Okay. What's up, Robert? I do think stocks like GE have the potential. Anything industrial based, that is not dealing with strikes right now is really like something to watch. This move is enormous. If I had options and they were this weak and I come into it and I've got this, I'd probably be gone. I'd probably sell into it. Like that's kind of ridiculous for General Electric to move like that. It's not something I would stay with, but there's your trend line. There's your channel. And you don't seem to be able to get above that, do you? Right? So you know where your issues are, right? You can see them, right? Like here's one issue, right? So let's see how it plays out there and how that holds. Yeah, I mean, you could see some of this today, but do I really want to chase that? Probably not. Could be something that you look at on a pullback, right? But you definitely don't want to chase that. I mean, you can already see that. You can already see where your level is. And obviously they'll do better with their deal, but let's just go in here and look at this on a 15-minute. Okay. Deal's announced, right? And then you can just see what happens from 7 o'clock on, from when people are able to get out, right? Most people don't have a trading platform that lets them screw around at 4 o'clock in the morning. So you can see that, right? It's usually 7 o'clock is a good spot to look. So since 7 o'clock, all we've seen is dumping, right? If you look at that level for a moment. Okay, so just watch that level. But yeah, that can move. I mean, it's having a great day. Congratulations if you're in it. Hey, SF. Mara, look, you can't chase these now. Like if you were in them, congratulations. If you're not in them, you cannot chase these. You can do whatever you want, but you're just waiting to get set up to get smacked, and then you're trying to figure out why everyone else is saying they made money. Like you got to not FOMO all over yourself. I don't know how else to say it. Was yesterday a great day to buy it? Yeah, yesterday was a really clean day to buy it, and I was so focused on Tesla and some other names that I missed it and did a little trade toward the end of the day, made a little money, but really missed the majority of the move. What I'm looking for right now is when I see something like this, you need to pay attention to it. And you broke out and you ran. So I really like this. And I think it's definitely something to consider. I really do. I think it's something to consider as far as a trade. But you can't really run into this and try to build a position now. There's just no way. It's too late. Good morning. What's up, G? Hey, Rob. QS, I just went through. Hopefully you saw it. I know I'm behind on questions. Here's usually what happens with these trades, SF. Like this is how those trades usually work, okay? Ford will run until people can buy Rivian. Same with Amazon, right? They're going to get a little love on that move, and they're going to move on that. Once that ends, people will sell the stock, okay? This is not a normal move for Ford, okay? It's just not, right? It doesn't move like this, okay? They bought a stake. People want to see how good the stake is worth, okay? But here you are in the weekly, and you have to start looking at this stuff, right? It kind of tells you where you might be going to and where you might stop, right? Gives you an understanding of where you might go. It's really important to understand where you may get to. But once that comes out, the stock will drop. I've watched this trade over and over and over again. So it could go up more the day that it goes public. I've seen that as well, but that's usually the high of the stock for a period of time. JMI. If I was up in Ford, I would hold it into RIVN going public. There's nothing to do here, like literally nothing, right? You know where your support is. You can see it right here, right? Hey, boss. Hi, Di. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a great trading day. Hey, Jen. Yeah, I mean, like, look, you could buy Micron calls. I mean, here's the thing about Micron. Micron's moving up because people are looking where they can buy the next cheap semiconductor, right? I mean, that's why we're moving up. Okay. Now, in order for this downward trend to be considered to be broken, you need to get above a higher high. And that higher high is right here. Has that happened yet? No. Okay. Maybe it happens today. And we all know where the moving averages are, but I'll pop them in real quick. Right? So we need to get above that. Until then, this is nothing. Right? I don't know why everyone is so excited about this little like 5% move. Like they're all trying to catch this next wave. This is a lot of, look at all this. Let me just point this out so people understand this. Right? Look at all this you have to get through. You're not even through point of control, the 200-day. I mean, maybe you get 5 points out of it, but I just don't see the reason to really rush in there and own that. I think there's so many better names that you could buy in the semiconductor space. So Taiwan Semi, let's get into that. Yeah, I mean, like, look, you're running right up, right? And now you're basing. Look at the base. Look at that base, right? And what is that telling us? And let's get rid of these indicators. Now, we've been trading this or talking about how to trade it, right, in the trading room for some time, right? You buy it where? Support. You sell it where? Resistance. Where are you right now? Resistance. Okay. So why would I buy the stock that's hitting resistance right now? Right. That's how the trade's been working. No matter how you want to quantify it, right? Moving averages are completely immaterial. You're in a base, right? You're trendless when you're in a base. So therefore, why would you use a trend indicator to determine to move? It just doesn't make sense, right? So you see this base, you got to get through it. You've not been able to do that. Someone up here it just keeps selling, right? So just keep that in mind. That's how I look at it. It's not something I would chase. Let's do this plug so everyone's on the same page with it. Okay. Earnings. Okay. Now you have a little flag here. You're trying to build. You traded up a little bit this morning, and then you just got knocked right back down. So to me, it's not something I'd be rushing into at all. It's not something I'd be looking at. And it's certainly not something I'd be rushing into. All right. So just keep that in mind. I did a little trade on it yesterday. It didn't work. It fell. Lithium batteries. Yeah, that could just explode. Yeah, that's good to know. Thanks, Jeremy. That could explode on the infrastructure news. I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, you just might want to watch that. That could definitely go. You're on to something there. Let's take a look at this. MAXR. IWM, I think you just have to give it some room. I don't know that I would initiate a new position here on IWM. I think you kind of missed it. I'd let it pull back first, get a better price, another setup. I mean, there's not really much to say here. You can see it already, right? This is why I always leave trend lines in. Okay. So you're right on the trend line. You're trying to break and you're having an issue. Moving averages are pointing up, but I still have this up here. Do I really want to try to buy this for 4 points? Right? To me, it's a no. APRN. So down yesterday, we're out. I mean, obviously it's not going well. So do I think that you try to catch it? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, it's probably not something you go near. I haven't had time to go through the reports this morning, but I would avoid it at this point. I mean, you're probably going to here, right? You're probably going to this level. And then if you break that level, you just got to get out of it, right? So that's why it's so important to have your stop set. Snap. I look, any of these stocks that broke down like Snap, any of these names that broke down like this, you don't want to be involved with. Like you don't, I mean, you can try, but you need this to get through the first range. Let's get rid of this so you can understand what I'm talking about. Your range is this 55 level. You went right to it yesterday. Support becomes what? Resistance. So get through that, and then you have to get through 57, 47. Then I have to get through 60. I'm exhausted just talking about it, right? You have so many other ideas out there that could do so much better. Why waste your time? Unless you really want to own this fundamentally. And you got to get through these levels. These are your levels right here. And when you start getting through them, your next target's going to be the next level. That's how you trade it. If you want to try, Randy, try, but it's not making me feel really great. I understand why people like it. I get it. But social media's got a real issue on their hands. I'll see, look, you broke out. And then since then, right, you broke out a long-legged doji. And like, it's always great to understand these levels and why these levels exist, right? Like we know that there was a huge seller there. Look how that flips, right? So resistance becomes what? Support. That's your stop. You break that, you're going to here, right? You break that, you could go to here. So it's a question of how much pain you're willing to go through. Other than that, would I buy this? No, I would not buy this. Why wouldn't I buy this? Wicks or what? Price rejection. So we're constantly rejecting the price, the new price. It's not of interest to me. Okay. LABU looks awful. And, I keep waiting for it to like kick in and start looking better, but bonk, bonk, right? I mean, you just see they're just walking you down. Right? They just keep walking you down. It's not something I would go near. Even when I looked at this one, which doesn't have the leverage and has different names, and I think it has the VAX names in it, like I wouldn't be going near these. They just look awful. Let's just keep going. Team. So team, yeah, I mean, you got to hold here. If you can hold here, maybe you need to hold there. Can NVIDIA go higher? Yeah, it can go a lot higher, like a lot. Yes, I think we have them in the room, Doug. If you haven't seen them, I believe on Friday we put out a new option on NVIDIA. So I doubt that I'm going to be putting a new option trade on NVIDIA when we're up like 5-6%, buddy. But we did have a new one in that room. So I like AMC from the trade from what I read yesterday on their report. Okay. I think you're dealing with a lot of issues, and let's throw this in. All right. So to me, would I be buying an option on that? I don't know that I would. I would have to look at the implied volatility. It's more than I can get into right now. You can reach out to me later. Just email me, show me what you're looking at, or just reach out. Again, I don't know. When people reach out, who's in the trading room, who's not, even when I do this. But if you're not, just email me, rta@rtatrading.com. Oh, right. So that's what I would focus on. But I think it's .net, actually. It's .net, right? Hold on. Yeah, it's .net. I apologize. So just email me there and I can go through it with you if you're not in the trading room. But look, here's the bottom line with it. Okay. At the end of the day, um, I like the call. I thought the call was good. People are going to go to the movies. Okay. This is staying above the 50 on the RSI. What it does today is maybe pulls back and gives us a chance to buy it right at the 50-day. Like if this pulls back to the 50-day today, you need to look at that. And maybe that's where you put the position on, right? But yeah, I have to look at the implied volatility because you could just waste away on the options, right? I mean, that's what's happening to everybody here, right? They're just wasting away. Nobody's making money on options here. Nobody. The only people that's making money on the options here are the sellers, right? And they're killing it. The market makers are making a fortune looking at yachts. It's crazy. So AMD. So I don't chase, right? Everybody knows this. I can't buy that, right? I can't. Like to me, you should form a flag and then go from there. I like how they're getting wider and wider, but to me, I just can't. I can't do that. Now, I mean, here was your trade right off these wicks, right? You broke over those wicks. That was it. And you can even see this. Like that's so important to understand when I keep saying support and resistance, right? And then even if you use this one, you can see where the open was. Okay. So it's really important to understand that there's 25 points there if you understood that. Do I buy this now? Probably not. Same reason that I'm not, maybe I'll trade NVIDIA around today, but I'm not going to be building a position in it. We already have the position, right? The goal is to be there before the move and build. Hey, Laura. Here's the only reason I think that you have to look at, right? So I think it's really important to understand something. I think if people have to look at this is a really good point, Laura. People have to think about it from this perspective, okay? It's not what is said. Just like doesn't matter what the earnings are. It matters what people do with the earnings, right? We have a preconceived notion in our head because a company has good earnings, they're going to go up. As people that have been trading for years will tell you, that's not always the case. Just like when you have bad earnings, sometimes they're not as bad as people think. And guess what happens? The stock goes up, okay? What does this mean? It means that you have to read the price. Price rules everything, period. So when I look at Tesla, what I see is I see a stock that closed below the 8-day, okay, for the first time, right, since this run began, right? Okay, so that would give me a sign that maybe we're slowing. So that's how I would view the chart right now. I know where my stop is. It's on this breakout bar, and we'll see what happens with it. Am I buying it because it's bidding up today? No. I tried to play it yesterday. I have some options in it that go out pretty far. But, am I going to add to the position here? No, I'm going to let the position play out. But I don't know how anything that he does on $1 trillion company affects the stock price anymore. 15 million is a flea on a net. I mean, it's nothing. 15 billion rather. It's nothing. So, hey, RM. I think you have a funky pre-pullback here. I'd be careful doing this off the open. I don't know if you have so many people that have been buried in this for so long that they're going to dump or what they're going to do. You may get lucky and just have a gap and go chart. You can try that on it, sure. But just watch this level if it doesn't break. Okay. And it could just, boom, come right down. So you're going to have to watch that. You have to watch that and see what happens. You're really going to have to watch that. I would not be doing anything pre-market. Yeah, NVIDIA is just a beast. I said it earlier this year. I said NVIDIA is going to be the Tesla of this year. I was wrong. Tesla's the Tesla of this year. But NVIDIA we've done fairly well with. I think we're up. I don't know where we're at now. I can tell you in a minute. Hold on. So I think, we're up like, 100 points on one. At this point, we're up like 70% on one and 50% on the other position. All from chart pattern recognition. What happens with it now? I think that these could be doubles. I think both those could be doubles. So I think people are finally starting to get it, frankly, with NVIDIA. ATOM. Guthrie, we looked at this, right? And it just didn't do what we needed it to do, did it? Right? Like this was the level from the top 10, and then it ran right to it. And what did it do? Bonk, bonk, right? So it's not something that we really want to rush into there. We'd like it to perform. If it's not going to perform, why do we want to own it? So it looks like I'm really behind again. From what I'm gathering, I play TNA. I don't buy IWM. I buy TNA. Any. So 764. Yeah, I would just watch that 764 level. You got a lot of wicks and a lot of nonsense going on there, but you are respecting that 50-day, aren't you? And you're coming into earnings. You could move here. It could work. There's better stuff out there, but Intel I wouldn't touch. Intel I really wouldn't go near it. Maybe it trades up with the rest of them, but it's broken. I mean, they're broken. They really lost their entire edge. They're no longer the 800-pound gorilla they were 20 years ago. So, they just gave it away to AMD. It's crazy. It's complete mismanagement. So it's not something I would be buying. Microsoft's just a cash cow. We have it in the newsletter. I think we're up 10% on it. Just there's very little reason to do anything with it. Would I buy it up here? No. I mean, off the breakout, we did okay, and then we left it on. I like my breakout, and I'll leave it alone. So, and let's just keep going. MDB. Yeah, I was looking at this again. And, every time these things break, it's just a question of when, right? When they break, when they finally break, there they go. And there it is, right? You had a bearish engulfing. You took over that bearish engulfing, and then you went. And it looks great. If you're in this, there's nothing to do here. Nothing. And you can just see how they keep stepping you up on these breaks, right? I mean, that's exactly what you're looking for. They do that. Like, that's a really specific pattern that people need to pay attention to, right? Just like pan here, right? When you broke pan, I mean, from that level, everyone's like, oh, I missed it. Did you? Right? Because now you're up what? Okay. Here, you're at 448. Here's another one, right? Here's the earnings. It broke out. Oh, I didn't buy it at 250. I missed it. It's at 278. Did you? Right. Do you see what you need to pay attention to those patterns. I mean, you're up 100% in a year on this trade, right? It's not a bad spot to be. Planter's a tough one. Hi, Anna. Planter's a tough one. You just have a lot of people that want to sell that, buddy. And now you have earnings coming up. So I would just be cautious. Sometimes it goes up on earnings. Sometimes it goes down. There's not really any edge that I see there. Hey, Brett, EXPI. I love this name. And it just keeps just making, I won't say it, but it's just torturous, right? Every time you think it's going to get going, what happens? We talked about it last time, right? Is it going to go this time? I don't know. And then it breaks down again. And then here we are. So not something I'm chasing. SQNS. I like that. That's very interesting. I don't like the smaller names. People know that, but I like that. I like that chart pattern. So, when you have a base, it doesn't hurt to take a look. Yeah. So you see you're right on point of control on volume by price. So you're probably going to want to wait for that to break. And then you have VWAP up here. So your next target's 650. I mean, it can go. And I'd be interested to just see it. So this is worth looking into. And then you have this spike. You have a lot going for it, but you gotta watch. You gotta watch that point of control line and make sure that you get above that before you even consider involved with it. Let's put the RSI back. I like using RSI. Man, there's so much to go over. I'm going to jump to the front because I only got 4 minutes left. Hi, Aaron. I like look. I like AMC. I don't know if you caught that earlier or not. We did go over it. What you're gonna have to look at for AMC is just what are we going to what's going to have to happen, right? So let's look at this. Okay. So over here you can see that Rblx is starting to move up, starting to get a little action. You could just go through 104 this morning like butter. So we have to really see that open. But that report was insane. That was like UPST's first report when it went insane. How good that report was, and nobody expected that. Let's go to the 15-minute for a minute, Aaron, and let's just look at this. I mean, this is what we're dealing with, right? We've broken down, and we're just not going anywhere. So maybe we get lucky, right? If you're looking to put a position on, and maybe we come back down to these levels, right? Maybe we come back down to that 50-day and test. That's what I would like to see. If we can get there, that'd be great. So let's see if we can get fortunate enough to that. Oh, you're welcome anytime. And I'm just trying to get through all these. It's going to, as we get bigger, it's getting harder to get through them all, frankly, guys and ladies. So Lucid, time to take profits. We had a trade on yesterday. We did fairly well with. We had some options. I think we had a double on the options. Look, do I think you need to take profits on that? Why? I mean, because you're making too much money? Like, I don't know. If I'm long this, right? What am I looking at that's telling me that I need to sell it, right? Besides the fact that I want to lock in profit. So if you want to lock in profit, sell 20% of the position. Let the position work, right? If I get through 50, you're going back to here. So you don't know where this is going. You really don't. So for me, that's really important to understand, okay? You closed yesterday at 45. Today you're opening up here. This is exactly what you want to see. This is the kind of action you want to see. So no, I would trim into it if I was concerned, but that's it. SOS big volume yesterday. Hey, Marty. So yeah, I mean, that was on the list I was looking at, but I don't know that it goes. Maybe you got to watch that 50-day. Let me just keep going. Yeah, it is. I think it can keep going. Cool. Hey, Ken. So see how that's going? I don't know why I'm looking at Ken. Ken, I'm looking at your name. I'm not looking at the stock you requested. It's time for more coffee. There's a reason this is called Coffee and Charts. Look, earnings. No matter what you think about it, they're making money, right? So we know where the range is, right? We see this bar here, 242 to 260. We can see how it's respecting these levels, right? So we're going to have to let it play itself out. Am I a buyer of this? No. I think that these stocks have had their day. I actually think the way that they're going about trying to implement, and this is not a whether or not you're for mandates or not against mandates, whatever, the way they're trying to implement this with just listen to us is not going to work with people. And it's actually created a backlash. Even if they're right, it's not the correct way. So people are just, they're walking away from it. And you don't want to, no matter what, whether you're selling soccer balls or whatever you're selling, you don't want people to be walking away from your product. And that's what's happening. So it's a concern. And the Visor news, frankly, makes so much sense why they didn't try to buy BNTX now. The Visor news is insane, right? When you look at that drug trial and what it does, it's absolutely insane. So it's definitely worth looking at it. But let's just go PubM. And it comes out with earnings and BNGO. PubM, I like. You can get going. You have earnings though, but it could get going. Yeah, it absolutely could get going. BNGO. So, okay. All right. I gotta hop in the trading room here. As always, if you need me, just feel free to reach out. Okay. And we'll go from there. Everybody trade sharp today.